The search for the submersible that went missing during a voyage to the Titanic shipwreck has expanded into deeper waters, the US Coast Guard official has said. Oliver Whitfield-Mircic, our Talk TV correspondent, is here with more on this. It seems rather there's nothing worse than sort of preempting any news story and almost concluding it before we've got all the details. But what we can say with a certain level of confidence is that this is, you know, an almost impossible mission for the rescuers.
Yes, it is. I mean, you've got to look at how deep the potential boat is going to be. You've got to look at how far away it is. So this is being led by the US Coast Guard based over in Boston. Normally, their operations only go out 200 nautical miles. The Titanic shipwreck is 900 nautical miles away. So...
Wow.
We hear now from the US Coast Guard that not only are they taking part in this, they've also got the Canadian Air Force, which has supplied aircraft. You've got the National Guard based in New York, who are all scrambling, trying to get anything out there that will help. They're trying to listen under the water to see if there's any sort of noises that can be heard from inside the vessel. But the outlook does not look great at this point because the oxygen supplies are dwindling. Yesterday we heard that it was anywhere between 70 to 96 hours. By our reckoning, it's probably about 48 hours to 72 hours now worth of oxygen left. It's probably about 2 days left worth of oxygen, but freezing cold temperatures down there. If there's no power supply, if there's nothing to keep them warm, you know, there's multiple potential failures here that have happened, and it's horrible to think about potentially the situation that these people are facing. Yeah, and
it's hard, you know, talking to our defence correspondent over there at the Sun and others who report on this sort of area military endeavours, you know, more regularly, etc. It's as you rightly said there, Ollie. There are so many components to this thing. You know, even if it's landed without a big bump and it's in one piece and the people are there, there's the temperature issue. There's the issue of not just something locating it, because that's one thing. They could go, oh, we know where it is, but then how do you get it? And there's the next problem.
And that is the next problem. So it's, okay, brilliant. What we've heard today from basically the Prime Minister's spokesman is the UK stands ready to offer its assistance, but on the sidelines being told none of our naval capability, the things that we've got up in Scotland, can dive down that far, really, and sort of get there in time. And so even if we do find a submersible that can go down there, is there going to be a grappling hook that they can attach to it? Is it going to be strong enough to bring it up? Is it going to be safe enough for the other vessel as well as the Titan, which is now still to be located? You know, there is the hope that somehow it has become snagged on something, it is unable to free itself, release some ballast, and it will float up to the top. But the longer that time goes, especially now that we've got an area the size of Connecticut being searched by these aircraft that are in the air, it does look even less likely. Now, interestingly, you might remember a few weeks ago there was this amazing image put out of the Titanic by a British company called Magellan. Got that 3D, first time it had ever been mapped in 3D. So they have actually got a submersible, the same submersible that did that imaging, and by chance it is in Jersey, so in the Channel Islands. And what they have told CNN is that they are willing to send that submersible straight to the site, but what they need is a Globemaster aircraft, which only the US and UK military has got. They're accusing neither the RAF or the US Air Force of getting back in touch with them. So we've reached out to the RAF, and a defence source has said all actions are being taken to ensure timely delivery. But it is really, really difficult because you've got multiple nations that are trying to get involved here. Obviously, the UK wants to assist because there's 3 British nationals that are on board. But then how do you coordinate where it takes off, where it lands, where it goes to? Is there going to be enough time to get it there? The race against the clock is real here. The last thing that you want is then have everybody jumping in and sort of making it a little bit more of a confused picture, which is something that we sort of saw in the rescue of those Thai football kids. Can you remember they were in the cave?
Yeah, we were referencing that a little earlier.
And every man and his dog almost there trying to have a say about the best way forward.
Yeah, here's an idea to do it this. You use ropes for this, and then you circumnavigate that bit and you get into that area, and then you can go down and abseil here and, you know, bang a peg in there. All sorts of ideas. But I guess the difference with this, as we said to another one of our contributors on this, Ollie, was that You are talking about trying to get beyond the laws of physics, because this is just very deep water. You can't just send a diver down there. That doesn't work. You can't send a vessel down there because they don't tend to go that far. And even if you could, then somebody on board couldn't get out to do it. There's just some irredeemables here.
Yeah, so when you think about your car tyres, they're filled to about 2 bars worth of pressure. The pressure we're talking about... Sorry, I've got something in my throat.
All right, Ollie.
The pressure that we're talking about at this level is 380 bars. It's huge pressures we're talking about.
That's extraordinary.
Right down at a point where, if the worst has happened, if there's been a leak that's been sprung, somehow a fissure has gone inside this submarine, it would have been pretty immediate. You know, it'll have been like crushing a Coca-Cola can in the amount of huge pressure. There'll barely be anything left. I can't really imagine that we would be able to find. And so it's almost easier to get somebody into outer space than what it is to get somebody down to these huge depths of the ocean floor.
Yeah. We will watch with interest, but as you rightly allude to there, Ollie, it does, you know, hope seem to be fading, if there was any realistic hope at all. But everybody, you hang on to that. You know, you think this is, you know, it's the 21st century. There must be a way. There must be a way. It's a piece of sea kit that is down there somewhere. Somebody must be able to get there. That's the kind of human way of piecing this together. But of course, you know, there are, you know, these clear challenges that even the greatest brains at the moment are unable to find that solution.
And, you know, it's human nature. We do want to see a successful outcome here. I think really the authorities will keep on trying until that time limit runs out, until they've exhausted that. They haven't heard anything on sonar, they haven't heard anything by underwater acoustics, and potentially got a vessel down there, no matter what vessel it is, so that they can scan the seabed. But huge underwater currents down there. If this submarine had not reached the bottom of the floor yet before something terrible has happened, it could be that it's lost its engines, it's somehow lost the ability to steer. It could have drifted quite a far distance away, so it could be one of those big mysteries for quite a while until further assays are done of the seabed floor.
Indeed. Ollie, thank you. Oliver Whitfield-Miocic, Talk TV reporter with us on the latest on that. And it goes without saying that any breaking news or any more we get from the US Coast Guard as well, you'll hear it here first on Talk TV.